Do you have a teen that is running your life and ruining your family? Raising a teenager can be a very difficult task for many parents. The best part? You're not alone. I found a support group called Tough Love. It's a support group for parents of troubled teens. And joining me to talk about what they do and what they can do for you is Dawn Ballack, who is a New York State rep for Tough Love Parent Support Group and is also a parent who went through the experience with her own teenager. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So what is Tough Love?
Tough Love is a parent support group for children that are out of control. Now, you come to Tough Love when it gets tough to live at home. And what we do the first meeting, usually we come and we do an A to Z what we're all about, because there's a lot to it. But basically it's the parents that run the group, so everybody's going through the same thing. So it could be a child that maybe has a drug problem. We can't keep them at home. We had this kid who didn't want to get out of bed, was very abusive to his mother.
And how old was he?
He was 15.
Okay.
And once he was out of bed, he was okay, but if the mother touched him, he would hit her. So what we found is he didn't like country music. So what we did was we put his alarm clock in the corner and put country music on.
Oh, wow.
So turned it up. So he got up out of bed, and then that was okay. Once he was out, like I said, it was okay. It's just getting them up and out. So, and there's many children.
Do you have situations where you also intervene, like you go to the house as well?
Yes, I have. It's kind of like, you know, it's really tough for the parent to live with it, so they get us to come over. I've also gone to people's houses and actually help them with their young teen.
And do they respond better to you?
They do, because they want to prove that the parent is the one who was making them act out.
Gotcha.
So it's basically getting another parent to intervene, because they really react to other parents a lot different than us.
And how did you get involved with Tough Love?
I had a 15-year-old daughter who was out of control, who met an older guy, was into drugs, and found she was sneaking out in the middle of the night, and I finally said, you know, this is not going to happen. And in New York State, you can't touch your children. So anything below the neck is child abuse. Then I found out there was a PINS program putting them on probation, and that's a pretty long, drawn-out process, which is very difficult for parents to go through.
You mean drawn-out process to apply for it?
Yes,
or
to
just
apply
to go?
for it.
Okay.
And that's with the kids taking off in the middle of the night, using drugs, you know, not being able to have control in your home. So it was very difficult for me, and it was the best thing I could have done.
What are some of the other things that Tough Love does for parents?
Well, it can really help with a lot of behavior problems. You know, bad behavior is not acceptable. Now, there are a lot of kids that act out because they just know they can. And so other parents get involved. Like, for instance, if you had a 15-year-old and you couldn't have control over her, and that parent coming, that support parent coming over and helping you, she would do everything that you asked her that you wanted to do. And I always say, Tough Love is a program. You come to Tough Love when it gets tough to love your child.
Tough Love support groups exist all over the country.
All over the country. All over the country. So, for instance, when my daughter left, there was a family in California. So when she took off with an older man online, and so there was a family there where I gave her the number. I said, if you need help, you can go to this woman, and she'll help you get back on a plane and come back home. So we really are a great network for parents.
So you just basically reached out to another
parent
support group.
Yep, we have the main line, which we can call and get numbers of who lives in that area, so that we know that our child will be protected.
If someone wants to get in touch with Tough Love, what do they have to do?
I run a group every Monday night at the Hampton Manor Beach House in East Greenbush, so they would call my phone number, which is 732-4759.
Dawn, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And your parents aren't alone.
I know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you would like to know more about Tough Love, just log on to my website, parentologywithpaula.com.